What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the High Tempo Sports Podcast, episode 197. Today, we are back for another weekly episode. We did not drop an in-between weekly episode this week. That was a lot of episode. But this weekend, be on the lookout for a potential Detroit Lions episode with our Detroit Lions insider.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke about hints in the room, but there's probably gonna be a Lions episode this weekend.
Most likely, like it's close to
happen.
100%, like 98%.
Yeah, but we don't like to make promises because promises allow for heartbreak.
And we're not going to tell you who it is either. It's just you would know if you're a real listener who our Detroit Lions insider
That's it. Comment right now if you're listening to this and you're watching on YouTube. Comment who you think the guest is. Who do you think it is?
He's been on multiple times, and he's our Detroit Lions insider.
And if you don't know it based off that, stick around.
Like, if you got to look back at the old episodes, like, are you even a real one? Like, today's the day you become a real one.
Yes.
Exactly.
Today is the day. If you don't know that, now you're going to know after this weekend.
Exactly.
And you're in.
Before we get into any news for today, is there anything non-sports related that we need to talk about before this?
I don't.
Like, have you watched anything? Like,
I mean, I've been watching Love Island recently, the 2018.
What is up with everybody watching?
I don't know because it's like totally blown up.
All
like,
the
all
boys been watching that.
It's good, dude. But we watched Love Island UK, which is a lot funnier because of the words they use.
Right.
You know, they're calling each other dead tings.
Like sloke.
No. Like ting and tanks. They don't say thanks. Tanks. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not. Those shows are just they're so not fake, but like the drama is just so not for me.
Yeah, it's better than like watching. Like I would rather watch that than like a Real Housewives or even the Kardashians. I would rather watch like a reality love show, like this one though, because it's not as lovey-dovey. It's a lot more like. These people just having fun, and then there's drama in there as well. It's
probably more drama than fun, I would assume.
Yeah.
Like all shows.
Yeah, it's fun.
The Netflix Untold series is dropping one every week. Obviously, the Johnny Manziel one was last week. This week, they dropped one about the guy that was behind like the steroid scandal of the 90s with Barry Bonds and all them. Like the dude that like. I think like was the supplier associate.
Gotcha, the dude who be doing it.
I don't know. I can't remember what his name was, but they dropped one about him. So I'm really excited for that. And then they're dropping the Urban Meyer Florida Gators Swamp Boys or whatever. Swamp Dudes, something like that, next week.
I guess I don't even know what that is. Is that the one they were like called the Crooks?
Yeah. With like Aaron Hernandez and Tim Tebow and... the Pounceys, like all of those guys. It's about like just that team.
That era.
A lot of guys went to jail from that team.
I was much more hoping it would have been the Urban Meyer Jacksonville story. We will
get that someday.
I need it. I need a week by week. They should have a camera following that guy at all times. I want to see everything.
I think we will see that someday, hopefully, because just people come out with stories recently just about that season. And not many guys coach for one season in the NFL and get canned immediately.
And leave with the reputation he left with. Of him kicking his players.
Going to he kicked the kicker, Josh Lambo. Going to that bar after their loss and that story. We don't need to get into detail with that. So I'm really excited to watch that though, because as much as Urban Meyer is fun to make fun of, he was a legendary collegiate coach at Florida and Ohio State. So. We'll see how good that doc is, and I want to watch that other one with the steroids thing, too. Anything else?
Not that I can think of. No. That Johnny Manziel, I did get around to watching it. It was crazy. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. What an interesting mind of an athlete.
Very good watch.
Yeah, he's just so interesting because he thinks very differently than how you would expect an athlete of his level to think. How we've seen and how we know. Athletes of his level to think.
How any top-tier athlete would go about their business.
He wasn't like that.
No.
He's so interesting.
He's just one of the boys. All right, let's get into some Detroit Lions training camp talk. Let's talk about some sad and potentially bad news first. Jameson Williams has been ruled out for the remainder of the preseason after a hamstring injury that we don't know the full details about yet, but Dan Campbell did his press conference this morning. Amon-Ra St. Brown also got hurt in the same day as JMO, but he said they expect Amon-Ra to be back early next week, so he's not going to be practicing the rest of this week. But Jameson Williams will not play the remainder of preseason, which is, it's not as typical as Amon-Ra St. Brown won't play the rest of preseason because, he wasn't playing at all. Jameson Williams, this is the only time he can get reps. Once the day of the regular season starts, he can't practice with the team. He can't go to the training facility.
He can't do anything.
He can't do.
He might be able to train.
No, he can't.
He can't even be at the field if they're in Chicago.
Well, no, he can't. I think he can go there, but like he can't do anything.
Really?
And he can't he can't train with anyone. He can't deal with the medics and stuff. Like
nothing that's team related.
But I wonder, can he go to the games? That's what he can probably go to the games, right?
I don't know, but he might get too. I mean, if he can't sit there and watch a practice, why should he be able to sit on the sidelines and watch a game?
But I tried looking that up and I really couldn't find it anywhere. But he can't do anything as far as practicing with the team, which is a huge red flag for the Lions going forward. I mean, this was his opportunity. I think initially when Jameson Williams got his suspension earlier in this offseason, most Lions fans, including me and probably you, thought, okay, well, he's going to get ready, get amped up. In week 7, we expect J-Mo to be like this dude. Like
he's here.
It's unleashing the offense the second he steps in. Big game. We really can't expect that now because he hasn't gotten any reps. You know, he played in one preseason game essentially and in a week or two of training camp, and now has to sit out for the rest of this time when he could have been learning even more and more, especially didn't even get to play with Teddy Bridgewater, at least in a game yet. So we can't expect Jameson Williams to come back week 7 and just go crazy because how is he going to be able to go crazy? He just doesn't have enough reps.
Yeah, this really, really stinks. It's a big setback for Jameson Williams because initially when we saw that suspension, it was like, oh, not that big of a deal. Jameson Williams is ready, but like you said, he doesn't get the reps. This guy hasn't played much football. He hasn't played many plays for the Lions, and I doubt he really, really knows the offense yet. This was his opportunity to learn it so he could be ready, and now it's probably going to be week 10, week 11 before we see full-strength Jameson Williams because he's got a lot of learning to do, and it really, really stinks because I was so excited for that week 7 first week Jameson Williams back.
And I think the part that sucks the most is he's going to get blamed, like for whatever happens. If he comes out week 7 and doesn't perform, doesn't have 8 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns like we all thought he might be able to do, everyone's going to say, well, he's over. It's over. It's going to take him 3 or 4 weeks once he comes back to get fully integrated into the offense. And I was thinking about it from the flip side, too. If the Lions start off like 1-5, like terrible, 2-4, even 3-3, Jameson Williams gets the blame, right? Well, if Jameson Williams doesn't gamble in the offseason, maybe this offense would have had a chance.
Totally, absolutely.
Now, what if flip side? We go 5-1 or 6-0. We don't even need Jameson Williams. He can stay at home. He's too much of a locker room issue. The second he's gone,
I don't know about that. That might be. If a fan did that, they're no longer a fan.
But there's fans like that though. That's what I'm like. The people that don't like Jameson Williams don't like Jameson Williams.
If we're 5-1 after week 6, I'm like, hoorah, we can just act like this never happened. Jameson Williams just back, and it never happened. Granted, like, it's going to take a few weeks. But, like, it's one of those things, like, who cares if he doesn't come in and perform week 1? But if we are 2-4, he, like, has to show up and prove something to a lot of Lions fans. To me, I understand.
Which he's not going to do, though. No, that's the part that
you're
sucks.
setting unrealistic expectations for this guy.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. If I was an athlete on a team and I didn't get to practice for the first 10 to 11 weeks of the season,
everyone else does,
I'm probably not stepping in and as good as Josh Reynolds' first game. Like, I'm just probably not there.
It's very true. And so this really sucks for Lions fans. It sucks for Jameson Williams especially. It sucks for Jared Goff. It sucks for Dan Campbell. It sucks for everyone. So it's a really bad situation. I just hope that J-Mo news, now that this is happening, we just don't get a lot of J-Mo news for a while here. He's just in the media too much, and I really do worry about it getting to him, the Detroit media, the amount of criticism that he gets. I worry about it driving him out of the city. Now, he's only in his 2nd season, so he doesn't really have an option right now. But I just hope that eventually when he plays, we can put all of this behind us, everything that has happened to J-Mo in the past.
Yeah, we can hope that, but how realistic is that for the situation to be? It just really stinks because J-Mo has gotten off to such a bad foot. and so much of it isn't even his fault. I mean, injury last season, coming off from injury, and then this freaking
stupid rule,
and then his freaking hamstring.
And he's coming off a torn ACL, and someone was explaining this to me today. I'm pretty sure when you tear an ACL, they take some muscle from your hamstring to help rebuild your ACL. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but so I think a hamstring injury is common after an ACL injury is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's not stretching.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Because that's an allegation.
That's a thing. He doesn't take care of himself. It's like the fireworks thing all over again.
Yeah.
Like who? Like
this is actually the worst thing because we know where this tends to end up as the Lions fans in the past. When a situation starts off like this, usually doesn't mean good things in the future. And I just hope he can get over this hump and be okay. But it's just everything stacked against him. Like you said, I really do hope Detroit media, we just need to quit talking about J-Mo for the next however long. Let's not talk about him until week 6 is over. And then we can go, hey, by the way, remember that Jameson Williams guy we used to talk about? He's back. And I think that's the best situation for him.
I agree.
We all need to forget about him. I don't know.
He's there, but let's focus on what we have right now.
Yes.
We know that he's not a part of the squad for X amount of time, let's just rock with what we have, and then once he's back, then we can start talking about the news stuff with him. But he's the best clickbait in the world. Like, we need to title this episode something about J-Mo, because it will get it's, I'm telling you, dude, it's what you got to do nowadays. But speaking of Jameson Williams being out, who do we think is going to step up the most in his absence? Or let's say even be the second best receiver on the team or second most productive receiver on the team? We know Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to be number one, but he can't do it all on his own. Last season, we kind of were in this similar situation because Jameson Williams was out for the whole season essentially, but we had DJ Chark. He was a very good wide receiver too. He did miss a good amount of time, and in those games it was Tom Kennedy and Josh Reynolds and Khalif Raymond. So this season, who do we think is going to benefit the most or be the most productive receiver outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown up until week 7?
Well, no question, this opens up a ton of targets through week 10 for Jahmyr Gibbs. Stepping right into the slot, I think he could definitely take a lot of that away. I think it opens up the door for even like a guy like Sam Laporta to get more involved. But the guy that I pick it's Josh Reynolds. He was so money last year in the games where DJ Chark was missing. He had some really big weeks, and I could just see him stepping right back into the system and really, really going hard. I'm worried about what this does to Amon-Ra St. Brown. We don't have as much of an over to the top threat. What does this do for his effectiveness moving forward?
Yeah, we don't really have much versatility in the wide receiver room right now. A lot of the guys are similar. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown, is this middle of the field slot type receiver. Guess who's also that? Khalif Raymond. Marvin Jones Jr. is a go up and get it kind of guy, but he's 33.
He's a little old.
Is he going to blow by guys like Jameson Williams? No. Josh Reynolds is kind of that similar type of guy. He's not much of like a deep ball.
He's not going to go get it, but he'll run a deep route.
He's a good, he's a bigger receiver, can catch contested balls, but we don't really have that like playmaker, essentially the downfield playmaker that Jameson Williams and DJ Chark was last year. So that's a little. Denzel Mims kind of was like supposed to be that guy, like if he had a role, because that's kind of what he fits.
We're talking about guys that might miss the roster.
Yeah,
now.
Mims probably will, because he hasn't been healthy this entire training camp, and that's kind of the reason why he got cut from New York, anyways. So yeah, I think Khalif Raymond, like I said, he might be the best receiver on the team, other that isn't Amon-Ra, but he plays just like Amon-Ra, so
and then Gibbs is the same guy. They're all slot receivers.
I would love to say Gibbs, but like that's a lot going on there. I think Laporta could, but he's a tight end, He's not going to blow by guys and run down the field. Like,
he doesn't make us more versatile.
Exactly. So it definitely makes I'm not like scared, because we have Ben Johnson. If we didn't have Ben Johnson, it'd be a different story. Because like I said, we had games last year where Amon-Ra missed a game, or he got hurt on the first play of the game and was out the rest of the game, when you have Tom Kennedy, Josh Reynolds, and Khalif Raymond as your 3 receivers.
And we're putting up 30 still.
And yeah, we might have lost, but like we're still, doing capable things. So I'm not like scared by any means, but it's definitely like not something that we can just like, we'll be fine. Like, you got to think about it at least. Like, Like, what's the plan here?
Sitting here talking about it has gotten me much more scared than I was coming into the podcast getting ready to talk about it.
Yeah.
You have scared me shitless.
I didn't mean to do that. Dan Campbell did talk today, too, in his press conference that he said it kind of, they asked him about Denzel Mims. And they're like, what about Mims? Like, could he be a part of that, guys that step up? And he was basically like, yeah, like, he's in the room. He's like, I'd love to see it. So, like, basically, yeah, like, he's going to get cut. He's injured, yeah. But they talked about the possibility of exploring the market and bringing in another wide receiver. There's some guys out there. Now, they're not like Julio Jones.
Deshaun Jackson?
I mean,
you want to talk about a guy who's going to burn down the sideline?
Yeah, in 2013.
He's good for one. When he comes back, he's good for one.
Every year he'll have one big play. Every year.
We need that.
And it'll be on a different team every year.
And it's always the same play.
You want to do the Immaculate Grid NFL one? Deshaun Jackson is a great guy for that. But yeah, like, I mean, I was just kind of joking about Julio. Like Jarvis Landry's a free agent. Sammy Watkins, we talked about him a little bit today. That's kind of your guy. Like, not saying, I mean, Julio's fallen off. We all know that. Landry is pretty old, too. Not saying Sammy Watkins is great, but, like, if you need a guy to burst down the field and extend the field a little bit, Sammy Watkins is a guy that could do that.
Was there an old receiver in L.A. that we could bring in that played with Jared Goff that's not on a team right now? I can't think of one.
Deshaun Jackson.
Perfect. Oh my dude, it is so perfect.
I don't think it's perfect. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this, but I do think that it will be. I hope it's Jahmyr Gibbs is the guy that like could be that most productive receiver, but he's a running back for a reason. So it's like it's a bit scary. Let's talk about some fun Lions news though. Teddy Bridgewater rocking number 50 in the preseason. What do we think about this?
I think it's awesome. Yeah. I don't know why it's so significant. Because it's just a number.
You know what weird? Okay, you say that now until we watch the game on Saturday, and you're going to see the quarterback wearing 50. And you're going to be like, what is that?
You're right, because it will be the first time
it's going to look so weird.
It will look weird. You're right, because it's going to be a lineman out there.
Yeah, so
it's going to be big numbers.
The reason he's wearing number 50 is because they changed the number rules, obviously, but quarterbacks still have to wear numbers 0 through 19. They can't rock 50. But in the preseason, there's no number rules. Like, because there's so many guys on the roster, like...
So he's only wearing 50 for the preseason?
Yeah, you have to go from 80-some to 53. So, like, guys are going to get cut, obviously. Yeah. So the numbers don't matter. But he's rocking number 50 just for now, and because there's a player occupied from 0 through 19 right now for the whole Lions roster. There is not an open slot. So, which is kind of funny. Like Nate Sudfeld's in there, he could get cut. Trinity Benson's in there, he could get cut. But yeah, Teddy Bridgewater's always rock number 5. David Montgomery is rocking number 5 for the Lions. So
I think we should get 19 guys who wear 1 through 19 this year on the team, so that he can wear 50.
I mean, like I was looking at the guys who have those numbers. Like, there's only like a few that are gonna get cut. Like probably like 3.
Which Sudfeld being one of them sucks.
Yeah, him and Martinez are both in there. I don't know if they plan to cut both or just one. But it is just a funny thing because I wanted to like look it up, customized Teddy B jersey. Like imagine rocking the Bridgewater.
Oh, that'd
50.
Be fire.
You know how many like you'd rock that at Ford Field? Like how many dudes would come up to you and be like, "That jersey's sick."
And those are all the ones that are rooting for Jameson Williams. Those are the same fans who like Jameson Williams.
And they know you're a real one. Because, like, imagine rocking that jersey, like, 3 years from now when Teddy Bridgewater's not even on the team.
And people be like, what?
And he didn't wear number 50. They're going to be like, yo, dude, that's awesome. But I looked it up because you can, like, do the customized jersey on Fanatics. But when you do it, it gives you, like, the list of players already. It says Teddy Bridgewater is number 5, which he's just not. So that's a lie. So then I went to the actual customized where, you put in a name and number. Number 50, Bridgewater. It exceeds the character limit.
What?
Bridgewater. There's no R. It's one too long.
We could do tape one. We could do a one with white tape.
So you can't do the Teddy Bridgewater number 50 jersey. It's unless you like do it on DHgate or something.
I was trying to think.
You could bootleg
it,
dude,
do you remember DHgate?
We went through a DHgate phase.
I have like 10
Hopefully
jerseys.
the government doesn't like
all
DHgate.
Right
yeah. I have like 3, I'm pretty sure. And they're like decent jerseys, dude.
They're not bad. And why?
And I got it for $15.
Like, and why spend $120 on a jersey?
Yeah.
Unless you're getting it signed. But like, I'm not getting a jersey signed by LaMelo Ball.
The only thing is, when I got them jerseys, it took me like 4 months for them to come in.
That's the best part.
So the last few City jerseys I've gotten, they've all been like off of Fanatics or whatever. And I'll get the Pistons one this year.
But it's like Christmas when the DH game, especially because we had to go through some, or at least I did.
Yeah, because my bank blocks it. Yeah, dude, I forgot. God, we're getting into some weird talk right now. Okay, quickly before we hop into our next thing, I do need to talk about the Tigers for a brief moment. Yesterday was a very substantial moment in Tigers, their seasons this season. Spencer Torkelson goes off for another multi-home run game, his 4th of the season. Riley Green hit a home run, and Kerry Carpenter hit a home run. Torkelson's up to 21 homers on the season. To all you Torque haters out there, that is 5th among first basemen in the entire major leagues. That puts him top 30 in the entire major leagues in home runs. He's going to hit 25-plus home runs in his year 2 after, bust allegations were going across his name. No, he's not going to hit 275, but he's going to hit homers, and that's what we needed. And the Tigers are starting
275 batting average.
Yeah, exactly. But the Tigers are finally starting to establish a core of guys that seem to be here for the future, and I'm happy to say that Spencer Torkelson is included in that. They're not going to make the playoffs, but like they're playing fun baseball, which is good.
Wasn't like the good Tigers when like Miguel Ferreira, Ian Kinsler, all those guys, JD Prince, all those guys, weren't they like all batting around 300?
Not all of them, no. But like Cabrera was,
definitely
like Kinsler was like high 200s. Fielder probably wasn't, but he was hitting for power.
Who was the other?
JD was probably like 270, 280.
The nasty infielder, the other one we had.
Jose Iglesias.
Yeah,
he didn't hit home runs, but he got hits though. I mean, he was probably high 200 average. Yeah,
just feel like 275. Come on, Torque, get that up.
270. No, he's not hitting 275.
I know, get it up
like 230. Yeah,
like you got to get it there.
But batting average is a 2008 stat.
Oh yeah, I forget that people don't use batting average.
It's
anymore.
not. It's a pointless stat. I mean, okay, I don't want to say that.
No, but it's about how much you get on base.
It's not the stat you should base it on. Yeah, when you have a guy in Spencer Torkelson who's hitting 230, and then I'm trying to think of another Tiger, Akil Baddoo, he's probably not hitting 230. Let's say he was hitting 240. Oh, Akil Baddoo's better. No,
yeah. Spencer
Torkelson has 20 homers and Akil Baddoo has 5.
So what's the stat I should look for?
OBP. OPS.
What is that?
On base plus slugging.
Gotcha. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah. On base percentage is the one they use on
Moneyball. Moneyball. Yeah, it's on base percentage plus slugging percentage.
Yeah, which slugging percentage takes into extra base hits.
Yeah, like doubles are worth X amount of points, triples are worth X amount of points, home runs are worth, so.
Boom, there's baseball.
There's baseball.
That's baseball.
Boom, there we go. All right, let's talk about something that me and Easton got going on this weekend, and that is our brand new Dynasty Football League. Shout out to Tebow. We got to get Tebow on the podcast here soon. Haven't had him on in a minute. He's been wanting to come on, and we're giving him a shout out today. So I hope he's listening to this because he has a brand new fantasy league idea, and we're doing it. It's called a Devy League. I assume he saw this somewhere else.
I saw it on TikTok the other day.
Seriously?
Yeah. I saw like different types of leagues you should do, and this came up. So
basically, if you look up different kinds of leagues you should do and then combine them all into one, that's what this league is. It's a Dynasty 12-man league, PPR, Superflex league, so 2 QBs, which I've never done one of those. I know you did one last season, right?
Yeah.
I'm really excited to do that. 3 flexes start on top of your Superflex, so basically 4 flexes. You don't have to start a QB in your Superflex either, right?
But you can start anybody. You just be stupid.
Yeah, you just should.
Just trying to lose.
Now, obviously, 2 RB, 2 wide receiver, 2 tight end. But the Devy...
1 tight end.
Or did I say 2 tight end? Yeah, 1 tight end. But the Devy part, which I don't know what Devy means.
Like development?
Oh, that could be it. Yeah, that definitely could be it. You can draft players that are in college right now and stash them until they are on the squad. So if I really felt like Caleb Williams was going to be Mahomes year 1 next year, like Mahomes did in his time, I might take him in the first round. And you just draft a random-ass kicker, change his nickname to Caleb Williams, and boom, he's on your squad. You just have to wait until he's in the NFL.
It's really good for the meatheads, the football meatheads, the ones who...
Meatheads. It's a good term for that.
They live and breathe football. Because, I won't be shocked. Willie's in this league. I won't be shocked if Willie takes a high schooler, like that quarterback.
Willie will take J.J. McCarthy early.
Oh, yeah.
Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards.
Why not take that Detroit MLK kid?
Yeah,
that QB.
He's going to Dante Moore. Yeah, he's going to Oregon. UCLA.
Should I be picking that guy to sit in my taxi squad for however many years?
Like 3 years at least.
Yeah, that's too much though. You can't
go more than a year out.
No, like I think it'd be wild to draft a high school kid.
And so like we're still gonna do the rookie draft in the offseason, like where you draft the rookies, but like. Guys who get taken in this initial draft won't be in it. That I assume Marvin Harrison Jr. gets picked. I assume
you basically take guys a year early.
Yeah, you take guys a year, but you still will take guys in the rookie draft that are available. But that rookie draft is probably just going to be like, unless you don't have a top 3 pick, that's probably just going to be like kind of pointless. Maybe there isn't even going to be a rookie draft. Is there going to be picks and stuff involved?
Yeah, I would think there'd be a rookie draft because you still have to. You can't. It's not like we can pick up these guys.
You're right. Yeah,
it's the only time we get to draft these guys.
That's a good point.
The Debbie guys.
It just makes the picks less valuable because the top dudes are going to already be on teams.
Yes. Now I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
yes.
Like when we do the
Marvin
rookie draft
Harrison
a year
won't
from
be
now.
available.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison, Caleb Williams, probably JJ, probably Drake May from UNC. Maybe Donovan Edwards, Blake Corum, guys like that. Like they won't be available in that draft.
I just can't even see myself doing that. I just feel like you really are putting your chips in.
But if you're in round 13 and you're like, man, there's a guy on the board here that I looked him up. They think he's going to be the next McCaffrey next year. I'm taking him right now, so it's
like taking Bijan a year early would have been crazy.
He's a first round pick in fantasy. Imagine just having
Harrison.
Him. Yeah.
Marvin
Harrison
one,
could be like a really good, depending on where he goes. I mean, there's talks about him being the first overall pick in a draft that has 2 elite quarterback prospects, as a wide receiver. So,
dude, he might be my first overall pick.
Exactly. So we're super excited to do this league. Like I said, I've never been in the Superflex league, so I'm already excited to do that. And it's Dynasty, and it's Double Flex, and it's Devy. I mean, it's
everything. Dude, the 3 flexes is crazy. I was trying to think, Josh Reynolds might be a great starter for the first 2 weeks.
And it's 12-man league, too. It's not like it's 8 dudes. There's going to be some names.
Are we starting defense and kicker?
Ooh, I don't think so.
Okay, good.
I'm fine with that.
If we're doing 3 flexes, screw the defense, screw the kicker.
There might be, but
we'll talk about that.
There shouldn't be. No, I don't think you do defense and kicker in dynasty leagues. At least we don't in our league.
Yeah, there'd be no reason.
Yeah, maybe a kicker, but definitely not a defense. So
no.
Super excited for that.
Shout out Tebow.
What pick do you have?
I have the 10th.
I have the 7th pick. So Tebow did rig the league actually. So I shouldn't be shouting him out. He did 3 random orders, and the third one just happened to be he got the first pick. You think he did those and then was like, I think I'm gonna do 3 randoms.
Oh, I have the 12th pick. I don't want that one.
It does show actually in the sleeper chat that he did. It shows what the order was. Colby got the first overall pick in the first random one, and then it got switched. So, but Tebow has the first overall pick. So, I mean, he's going to get Mahomes. That's nice.
Last year, I was in a double flex or a super flex, and the people in the league didn't really, it was everybody's first super flex league, so they didn't understand the value of a QB. And so me and Jake left a draft with, I had, Josh Allen and Justin Herbert, and he had, Lamar and Mahomes or something ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Because they just didn't even, nobody had realized.
It's a super flex. Yeah, the
QBs are the best players.
You need the QBs. Yeah, totally. That's why I'm excited to do it because I don't know what my strategy is going to be. Do I take
the 7th pick is right there with you might be able to get the QB you want, might not.
But do I take my 2 QBs first 2 rounds? I don't know.
Or do you draft for the future? Do you draft Bijan, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, and then draft Caleb Williams as your QB? I might not win it this year, but next year, Bijan, Breece Hall, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, all some decent options.
Very exciting. All right, let's get into some basketball talk. That is it for football for the day. Did you watch the Pistons schedule reveal video?
No.
I didn't either. It's 4.5 minutes long, and Jalen Rose is in the opening scene of it, so I'm kind of watching it right now. Those videos are usually pretty fun, so I will have to go watch that at some point because it's like the content creator, all the interns and stuff that work for them. That's the biggest day of the year for them.
Oh, gotcha. So they go hard.
Reveal of the schedule, yeah. So The schedule did come out today. The Pistons schedule, everyone's schedule came out. So let's go through and predict every single game.
No, let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm kidding.
No, I just want to know what our Christmas Day game is.
We don't play on Christmas. Are you kidding me? The Pistons?
We don't play on Christmas?
We've never played on Christmas.
We don't play on Christmas?
We never played on Christmas in our entire lifetime.
Good enough to play on Christmas?
We play the Nets 2 days before Christmas and then the Nets the day after Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Brooklyn.
So, exactly. But the Pistons' only nationally televised game is against Houston. just like 2 years ago. Go ahead.
You don't like the rivalry. How do you feel about this?
I don't like the rivalry?
You say it doesn't exist. It's a fake rivalry.
No, I never said that.
You've openly been you've disliked it much more than
I don't know if it's like
I buy into the rivalry.
It's not like I do. Okay, maybe I buy into it more now than I did previously. It's definitely like a rivalry because our team sucks, so we need something to be
and their
entertained
team
about. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Both of our teams suck, so like we need something to keep us going. We have a rivalry, But I do think it.
No, go on.
Let's talk about this though. I think this is a fun like little rivalry. Like clearly ESPN making this is the only nationally televised game for the Rockets as well. Quickly, we have 3 NBA TV games against the Lakers, the Jazz, and the Celtics. So
good games.
There's a lot of little things going on with this Pistons-Rockets thing. Obviously, Cade and Jalen Green going up against each other for the second time. Cade obviously missed both games against Houston last season. And I think the first season, too. They only played against each other once. So, going to be excited to watch that again. We have the Thompson twins going against each other. Ahmed versus Asar.
I forgot about that.
How cool that's going to be when they're like guarding each other and stuff. That's going to be really fun. Jabari Smith was talking that shit to James Wiseman in Summer League this year when he hit that 3 and he looked at the Pistons bench and was like, he can't guard me. And they're like, we know, dude. Like,
we're struggling.
You got 40. There. Like, clearly he can't.
You're an NBA player. These guys are all Summer League guys.
Yeah, so
who cares?
Steven Silas is now on the Pistons coaching staff.
Yeah,
he was
facts.
The Rockets' previous head coach.
Get his get back.
Yeah, and then you have 2 of the most controversial, like, start-a-fight players in the NBA, Isaiah Stewart and Dylan Brooks, going up against each other. Like, that is a fight waiting to happen.
Oh, I would love to see that because we've seen what Beef Stew, what he does. I mean, he gets feisty. Dylan Brooks would know. He would remember Beef Stew's name.
I low-key think Dylan Brooks wouldn't pick that fight.
I think he'd be smarter than that.
I think
majority of people in the NBA are like, Isaiah Stewart's crazy.
Clearly after what happened with LeBron James.
He was running around with blood pouring down his face.
Exactly.
And did not care once.
And
that was still
kept it going.
It was so awesome that we were watching that game live.
Yeah,
and we watched because all of a sudden we look up and there is just craziness on the TV.
Oh my god, that was actually one of the most insane moments in the last several years as a Detroit sports fan.
For sure, it was crazy because it was LeBron.
I was like nervous when it was happening though. I was like, this needs to end. Like this needs to stop.
We both thought because we all know what everybody's thinking. Well, what happened last time? There was a massive fight at the Pistons that everybody thinks about. It was the mouse at the Palace, which got really ugly, gave the Pistons a horrible reputation.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was like, this needs to end now. Like, the fans are going to start running out the court. Like, but looking at the actual the schedule, we open the season at Miami, which is cool or whatever. We don't play our first home game until the 28th against the Chicago Bulls. And then looking at, what was I going to say? Oh, the in-season tournament. The in-season tournament is now a thing this year. It's going to be Tuesdays and Fridays in November. Each team will play 4 games. And they said that all those are going to be nationally televised, but it doesn't say like it is on the schedule.
I thought they were all 4 pool play games.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh, you're right. No, the knockout. No, but I think they said those are going to be nationally televised. I don't know. Maybe they're not.
Tournament Tuesdays.
But the pool play games, we play against the Philadelphia 76ers at home first, the Hawks at home, Cleveland on the road, and then the Pacers on the road. Those are our 4 pool play games for the in-season tournament. And then we move on to if we somehow win our group, or because the way it works is there's 6 groups. The 6 winners move on to the tournament, and there's 2 wild card teams that also make it, and it's like the 2 best teams that didn't win their group. And there's a bunch of tiebreakers for everything too. So there's a world where the Pistons are at plus 1,600 to win. You can bet on this already. Plus 1,600 to win just their group out of 5.
is that a lot? Is that a high number? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
now
lot.
That I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I'm 21 and haven't got my sports betting stuff figured out.
Like, you need to do it now. Yeah.
Like, because I need to put money down on the Pacers. The Pacers are winning that.
Plus, dude, and that's what we were talking about. Plus 650 to win the group, to win our group are the Pacers. And then to win the whole thing, I didn't write down. But if you really are feeling ballsy, Pistons to win the whole thing, plus 9,000.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But Philly right now is at plus 135 to win our group. Cleveland at plus 175, and then Atlanta at plus 500.
We don't have a chance of winning our group.
No.
Like unless Cleveland and Philly just say screw this, we can beat the Hawks.
And it's just like we're in a bad group because we have two really good teams in Philly and Cleveland. And then we have two teams that like are decent, but they're going to go hard in this thing. Like Trae Young in this tournament, dude.
This is his world.
Exactly. And then the Pacers, like, it's definitely we're in a bad group for sure.
Yeah. It's not going to go good for us.
No.
Put your money on the Pacers.
But I'm super excited to see this in-season tournament. I'm
tired. Care.
And I think how's it going to hurt? You know, these are still regular season games. All these games still count towards the win-loss record other than the championship game. But the Pistons aren't going to be in that, so it's who cares if people aren't taking that seriously. So I don't see how this can hurt. The people that are hating on this, it's just like, what's it going to make worse, you know?
I'm more worried about what the internet's going to do. The internet is going to make this a Mickey Mouse. They're going to be like, this is going to be the laughing stock of the NBA now, I feel like. With the NBA, like, oh, they won the in-season tournament.
Oh, yeah, it totally is.
And then it's going to be like, that ruins it. Like, no, we have to treat this like it's cool for it to be cool.
I think but once it happens, I could see it like the play-in tournament was, you know? Like, I could see people, because I would say most NBA fans like the play-in tournament nowadays. Totally. When it got introduced, nah. That was dumb. Yeah, LeBron said whoever made this should be fired, and then they got into the playoffs because of it. You know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Bron. What do you know?
That was I'm seeing 3 rims out there. I ain't for the middle one.
Look at.
But is there any teams in specific that you are like excited for the Pistons to play this season? Or at least to come to LCA, or if you're like, I want to go watch them play, like, is there any teams you'd love to see?
Definitely the Suns. Like, I would love to see that matchup. I think the Suns, are just going to be awesome. And then it's just like Monty Williams, and we are supposed to be the new Suns. Everybody's talking about it. You know, oh, man, this Pistons team kind of low-key has the trajectory of that Suns team.
Do him and Ayton and stuff beef?
And Beefs, too, would stand up for his guy. Yeah. That's another fight. Well, no, DeAndre Ayton doesn't care enough to fight. He would just like
Matt Ishbia, I assume, will be there. You know, he's from Michigan.
Oh yeah, and we got beef with him
coming to LC. Yeah, I mean, he fired Monty Williams when he got
beef with him. You have to dislike him.
He cut off his money giving to MSU athletics. I think he's like not allowed to now that he is the owner.
And
of the
he
Suns.
is like a ruiner of franchises, trading away everything for nobodies.
Yeah, but they're like the only ones that do that now, though.
Yeah.
So like it's gonna be interesting to see if it works. You know, I still like Matt Ishbia. And then Devin Booker, obviously coming to Detroit.
He's the Detroit fan.
He's the biggest Detroit fan, bigger nuts. You know,
yeah.
So and he loves the clearly going to be a Piston at some point.
He's wearing that damn Red Wings hat.
Yeah, or the Tigers hat. He's rocking the Lions jersey that one in the post game last season. Like he definitely is a big fan. Yeah, I like the Suns' answer a lot. A team I'm low-key kind of excited to watch play against the Pistons, and this is not a fun one. The Wizards. Want to know why? 2 dudes that always go off against the Pistons. Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole. I actually looked this up today. Jordan Poole, in his 3 games as a starter against the Pistons, is averaging like 30 points per game. And Kuzma hit a game winner in Detroit last year and then was like pointing up at the crowd, like talking his shit. Obviously, he's from Flint, so he probably had a lot of family there. Jordan Poole has Michigan ties as well, so that's a team that I like. They suck, you know. But
yeah, the double Michigan guys though is pretty hype.
And like, how many shots do over under 50 shots combined do those 2 put up?
I'm taking the over. It might be 60.
It could be
65 with those 2. Those 2 guys are chuckers.
It definitely could be. Is there any other teams that you?
Not that I'm really thinking about. I was thinking like, I wish Ivy had somebody. But like Ivy is just, which maybe is kind of nice for his career. Yeah. He ain't got beef with nobody, but I want him to have beef with somebody.
Yeah.
I want him to despise
I'm trying to think if there's like a...
There's not a draft
There's no
guy.
Draft. Yeah,
nothing.
He was the first guard taken in his draft.
Yeah, and he's like by far the best.
Maybe the King... He kind of has something with the Kings, you know, because the Kings were all mad that because they wanted to draft him. Pistons fans made fun of him, but then the Kings were like, "Oh, he sucks anyways." Like at least Kings Twitter and
because they're like, we wanted Keegan Murray more now that we have him.
Keegan Murray was very good as.
But you don't actually think that. No, actually they do.
They probably do. Yeah,
they need a forward,
and he was good.
They don't need a guard.
He was probably the most NBA ready player other than Ben Carroll in the draft last year.
Yeah, for sure, I would agree.
You know, all right.
Ivey's the GOAT.
Let's keep talking Pistons though. Last week we did our breakout players list. Very fun list. I always enjoy doing that. And I had Cade Cunningham, number 1. You had him on the list. I can't remember where he was at.
10.
Towards the bottom. Yeah, 10. But we both clearly know that Cade's going to break out next year. And we talk about him being the most improved player. Right now, Cade Cunningham is the second favorite to be the most improved player on FanDuel at plus 1,400. Not sponsored, by the way. You can bet on any site. I'm not telling you what to do it on. Mikal Bridges is plus 700. He's the clear favorite, and he's like the obvious one. And then you have like Tyrese Maxey plus 1,500, Reeves, Şengün, Scotty Barnes all tied at plus 1,600. But can Cade actually win the most improved player? Like talking about the award, because the most improved player award is one of the most. What is it? What is most improved? What makes you the most improved player? This conversation really started 2 seasons ago when Ja Morant won the most improved player. And that was like
he screwed it all up.
He was a rookie of the year. He had already taken a jump in year 1 to year 2. He definitely took an absurd leap from year 2 to year 3. Not saying he went from like 21 or like 20 points per game to like 28. Team was the 2 seed. Like it was a clear, like he was very improved. But you had guys like Jordan Poole who kind of came out of nowhere and averaged almost 20 points per game. There was a few other guys too. I can't remember. Should Cade win that most improved player, or like can he win the most improved player?
I think Cade is actually like very different than Ja Morant in the fact of the injury history. We haven't really even seen low key. Can Cade even show improvement? We've barely seen Cade.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
I mean, can he even be an improved player, or could it just be this is who Cade is? You know what I mean? It is very interesting.
Though, based on what we've seen this offseason, you know?
Like, he will be improved?
Like, he clearly been dominating against the league stars.
And I get that.
And you see the Rico Hines stuff coming out, too?
Yeah, about all the starters. About Asar Duran.
Going crazy, too.
But what I am saying is there is no baseline for him to improve upon.
Oh,
He's only played like 20 games.
Well, no, he played his rookie season. He played like most of the season.
I thought he only played like 17.
No. Last year he played in like 9 games, but year 1 he played like at least 55 games.
There damn near needs to be a comeback player of the year.
Yeah,
like similar to football. Like with the. Anyways, I think Cade can because he's in a different situation based on the fact that he has been hurt, and that's kind of where it's like he's improving from the injury to being like, oh shit, he's coming off injury. And as a rookie who was super inefficient, didn't do nothing, and people were hating on him because they didn't actually watch and don't know. And now he's the star that everybody knows, and I think that makes him eligible. But I was trying to think in my own head when you sent me the text today, and it was like, how do I fix? If I were the NBA, how would I fix the MIP award? I think you got to set like a baseline of like, if the season before you averaged 23 total points, rebounds, and assists, 23 or more, I think you should be like ineligible for the award the next season. But the issue is, if you do 20 and 2 and you jump to 20, 10 and 10, that's an insane leap. Like you would have to be. And so setting a parameter on that, or parameters on it, I don't think it fixes anything.
And it's not all just about like points, rebounds, and assists too. You know,
no,
like, it's a lot more. Like I
think it'd kick the guys like Ja Morant out of the award race. Is more that I'm hoping. I want guys who like came out of nowhere. I want Jordan Poole, who probably had 10 the year before.
You want Lauri Markkanen, you know, who like
Pascal.
He might have been at that 24, PRAs, but he averaged 25 and 9 on 40% from 3 last year as the number 1 option. You know,
for sure.
Like you said, Siakam, Brandon Ingram when he took a big leap. Cade Cunningham averaged like 17, 6 and 6 in his rookie season, you know, and he was the first overall pick, and he's in basically his second season in the NBA. Like, I think most people know that he's going to break out. Obviously, that's why he's the second leading odds getter. So the award isn't it's definitely the worst award. It's
far.
the worst award in the NBA because
it used to be MVP.
And it's cool, but it's a cool award. That's the problem. Like, this should be the award that goes to the guys that don't get the recognition, not the Ja Morants, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like Julius Randle when he won it. That was a great example. He went, and so it's tough because you have to set a parameter on, do you give it to the guy that went from good player to all-star level player? Do you give it to the guy who went from bench warmer to good player? Because Jordan Poole was bench player to good player. Mm-hmm. You know, there's guys like that for sure in the NBA. Do you give it to the guy who went from all-star to superstar in Ja Morant? You know, like it really is such a difficult award to pick because we know that Mikal Bridges is about to go crazy next year.
Yeah.
We know Cade Cunningham's about to go crazy. It should go to the guy that we didn't know was, and that's what happened with Lauri Markkanen this year. So I'm not saying it happens every year, but it should go to the guy that doesn't get all the love. You know?
Majority of the year, there is at least one of those guys.
Yeah,
that doesn't,
usually.
That like takes that big leap. And the years where there's not, okay, yeah, give it to the Ja Morant. Give it to him, I guess. But like in a year where like Jordan Poole was right there neck and neck with Ja Morant, give it to Jordan Poole. Ja Morant's going to be all NBA. He's going to be an all-star, and he's going to just give it to Jordan Poole. Like Jordan Poole's, and he's much more of what I would like to see from the most improved player. But I don't get to vote, sadly.
Yeah. Desmond Bane. Didn't Ja Morant give his most improved player award to Desmond Bane? Desmond Bane is a rare situation because he was a year 2 player, and usually year 2 players automatically just get like wiped from being in potential winning that award. But Desmond Bane went from like that 10 points per game to like 20 on like crazy efficiency.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a year 2 player, but like did you expect that? He was a 30th overall pick in the draft, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Did we expect Ja Morant? Yes, you know, for the most part. So that's just what I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit because I obviously like am just when we do our breakout players list, that is what's predicting what's going to happen. But is it right that guys like Cade Cunningham and Scotty Barnes is being talked about for most improved player? He was the rookie of the year. We all know Cade should have won rookie of the year or Mobley. But
anybody but Barnes.
Yeah, but he can't win the rookie or the most improved player. He was a rookie of the year.
You can't win an award and then become most improved.
Yeah, like that makes no sense.
We know what you are. Like it makes absolutely no sense.
Totally. All right, before we get into our big topic for the day, we need to talk about James Harden because this situation is weird right now in Philly. Daryl Morey and the 76ers organization comes out. This is a little bit of old news now. But they came out and said, we're done with James Harden trade talks. We're closing it up, and we plan on going into training camp with Harden on the roster, and we're willing to go into this awkward situation, which is just like, have you not learned your lesson with Ben Simmons? I guess
with James Harden, Daryl Morey.
Yeah.
You've already done this with James Harden.
That's true. You did this with James Harden, then you traded him, then you went to Philly, traded for him, because you waited out on Ben Simmons.
Yep. And now didn't pay him.
And so James Harden in China makes a video.
Came out at like 4 a.m.
Yeah. Makes a video while he's at his own basketball camp in China, which is just like I just imagine the kids. They're like, oh, like okay, kids, let's take a break from basketball. James has to like make an announcement, and they're like, oh, like, is he gonna like, what's he gonna talk about? Like his new shoes, you know, like. Probably not expecting Daryl Morey is a liar and I will never play for him. Like it was like the most like, wait, what? Like,
let me say it again.
Yeah, let me make sure you heard that right. I will never play for a liar in Daryl Morey is what he said, and
repeated it. Had to let these kids know. These kids will never play for Daryl Morey.
Yeah, exactly. If you ever get the chance, even though you might not. Like even though Yao Ming might be the only one, like don't play for Daryl Morey essentially is what he was saying.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of crazy that he made that video. So they're in a really weird spot. And PJ Tucker put on his Instagram story like I ride with my dog or something.
I love NBA
it was
Instagram.
Him and James Harden. This puts Joel Embiid in a very, very weird situation because. It was reported that Embiid talked to Harden several times and someone was like, yo, man, like, I get it. Like, it sucks, but, like, come back. And Harden literally every time was like, nah. Like, I'm not. So, but the reason why he calls him a liar is because last offseason, James Harden was a free agent. He was a free agent last offseason as well. and he signed a 1+1 deal for cheap so they could go get PJ Tucker, basically. So they could pay a role player to come in along with their mid-level exception. I think that was also how they traded for DeAnthony Melton. And so Morey basically said, hey, just sign a 1-year deal with a player option, so in case you get hurt, you can just opt into it. Next offseason, we'll give you the bag because we can't pay anyone anyways. And he was like, okay, cool. Like, they have a clear relationship. They've been together for years. And then this offseason, apparently Philly never even offered an extension to James Harden.
Which is crazy.
So that is why he opted into his option and said, trade me, basically. When he could have just opted out and then, like, went somewhere else. But he wanted to put the pressure on Philly. He wanted to say, hey, you don't think, like, you're not going to pay me? I'm opting in then. Like, let's do this thing. Like, he's ready to have that dramatic offseason.
I love James Harden. I got to be honest. This whole situation is awesome. I love watching. I think it's so much fun because Daryl Morey isn't going to win this.
No.
James Harden is the winner. No, because James Harden's going to show up to training camp first day.
But that's not what. Then that's getting Daryl Morey what he wants.
Not until James Harden walks out there and starts giving the ball to the Houston Rockets and saying, "Here, 6 points, 9 turnovers, 4 assists."
You think he'd do that?
I think he'd
just probably not.
I think he would 1,000%.
It really messes up your stats.
He can't not play though, because they have like until a certain day that they can be like, "We're just not going to pay you if you're not going to play."
Oh yeah, because Ben Simmons
he has to actually play.
Right.
So he's going to step out on that court. He's going to wear a fat suit. He's going to invite the whole club to the arena. They're going to be going crazy as he's turning the ball over and watching 360
This
dunks
literally
happen.
happened in Houston. Like when he got traded to the Nets, he started that year with Houston, played like 10 games.
The fat suit and was playing like shit.
Christian Wood were like an unstoppable duo. No, he was playing really good.
Yeah.
He was going crazy. He had like a couple of 50-pointers, and then while he was clearly not training, and he was like posting videos of him in the club like the same night of a game, and was still going off, and then they ended up trading him, obviously. So yeah, dude, this is going to be a really weird situation. Philly, man, is Embiid going to be next?
And Embiid needs to understand that we as NBA fans cannot blame. I hope most NBA fans know this is none of Embiid's fault.
No,
Embiid has had the worst organization ever ran around him since he's been drafted there.
Yeah,
they can't keep anybody happy. Nobody wants to be in Philly. Joel, just ask out. Like, next season, just be like, yo, I don't want to be here anymore. Would be like a good landing spot for Joel.
The Knicks is like the big one.
Yeah, the Knicks is for
R.J. Barrett package.
Donovan Mitchell.
They have 4 first-round picks this year. Like, that's like the main spot that would like make the most sense. Houston, I heard that like, which imagine how funny that'd be. Embiid goes to Houston and not Harden. But that would be a big time, like, because like Şengün gets traded. Şengün and like Tari Eason maybe.
Would you go to Atlanta for DeJounte Murray and Capella?
Ooh, that's not bad. Maybe they'd want to
maybe like AJ Griffin.
Yeah, you definitely have to throw in like one of those guys, like AJ or Kobe Buffkin or something, or Jalen Johnson or something.
Is DeAndre Hunter still there?
Yeah, he is. They'd probably want like he's kind of established. I feel like at this point they'd probably want a guy that could become really, really good.
Like AJ Griffin, please. That guy needs more minutes.
He's a guy that could become a star if he gets traded.
He's a monster.
Yeah, but I don't know if Embiid gets traded. It won't happen this offseason, but I'm excited to see what happens the rest of the season with Harden.
It's pretty awesome.
How far are we into this, by the way?
Shout out James Harden. You really want to know?
Yeah, I do.
53 minutes.
Dude, it does not feel like it.
We
just talked about random stuff.
We have a whole 15 teams to go through here.
So this could be long, but this was something I really wanted to do.
This will be long.
And I think this is going to be fun. So there's been a lot of talk over the past several seasons in the NBA about expanding. There's too many good players in the NBA that don't play. We need to give guys more opportunity. Like we just talked about, AJ Griffin, get him on the Supersonics.
Yes.
And Adam Silver has expressed that he will, it will happen. Expansion will happen in the NBA, most likely in Seattle and Las Vegas. I don't know if it'll happen the same offseason. I hope it does because it'd just be weird, like how the NHL, they went from 30 to 31, and like 2 years later they got their 32nd team, which would just be kind of weird.
It's just weird because there's no draft. It's just, hey, give me these 10.
Yeah,
give me these 15 guys.
I'll take those guys. Like the draft aspect makes it way cooler. So what we're doing today is, in the world of 2 teams being added to the NBA, there would be an expansion draft where obviously they got to get players on the team. The rules of an expansion draft, at least as of right now, I don't know if it would change. Each team gets to protect 8 players on their roster that can't be in the expansion draft. Everyone else is available to be picked. However, once one guy from your team gets taken, you can't have more than, like, the rest of your guys are back. So,
they're
like,
all safe.
You can't get 6 dudes pulled off of your squad. And also, just because you put guys in the expansion draft doesn't mean they automatically become, like, free agents. Like, if they don't get picked, they're on your squad still. Mm-hmm. So you potentially can only lose one guy at the max, but you can only protect 8. So what we're doing today is we're only going through the Eastern Conference because there's 30 teams. Maybe next week we'll do West. Who do we think the 8 players protected would be on each of the teams in the Eastern Conference? That's what we're doing. I'm excited for this.
Me too. There's also like a money thing with the draft. Like they can only draft so much money.
Oh, right. Yeah. Like they can't exceed the... And I assume they would pay attention to that too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is based on a lot of things, because if a team is in a win now state, they're going to want to keep their win now guys. If a team's in a rebuild and they have a couple bad contracts on the roster, even if it's some of their best players, they might not keep them because they want to get that off the books. Some teams are in the middle, and it's like I don't know who they would keep. So this is going to be really fun. We're doing this in standings. Do we want to do the Pistons first though?
Yeah, we can. Let me just go all the way to 15.
You have 3 different pages?
Yeah.
I wrote it all in just this little spot here.
Here, let me hit the soundboard button for this segment. Expansion Mania.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with the Detroit Pistons, and then we'll go back up to the top. This is so hard. There's a lot of teams that are very difficult for. Who are the 8 guys, or give me the obvious ones that you think are obvious first. I think that's how we should do this, and then we'll talk about the debatable ones.
I think there's only 5 obvious ones here for the Pistons. I think Cade, Ivy, Duren, Beef Stew, and Asar are the only clear-cut, must-be brought back guys. I think everybody else is up for debate. I have written down. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I do think you probably put Bogdanovich in there. I think he's just a little too valuable to just because he would get drafted. Mm-hmm. So I think you're just losing out on too much value to get rid of him. But those 5 for sure are
for sure. And I do have Bojan getting kept, and the other 2 guys I have are Monte Morris and James Wiseman.
Ooh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Which means, for those of you listening, that these are the 3 hot commodities to me: Isaiah Livers, Alec Burks, Marvin Bagley, and Killian Hayes are all up to be drafted. Remember, not all of them leave. If I had to guess, I would guess Burks leaves, but maybe Livers or Bagley.
Picked, yeah. Just depends on what they're going for, yeah.
Yeah, what do they want to do?
Yeah, so I also have Cade, Ivy, Duren, Stu, Asar, and Bogdanovich. I kept Isaiah Livers. I think that Troy Weaver's made it clear that he has a future for Isaiah Livers. So I kept him around. I debated between 2 guys for this last one, between Monte Morris and Marcus Sasser. I'm keeping Marcus Sasser. I'm protecting Marcus Sasser on the Pistons. He was a first-round pick. I don't know how much of a role he's going to have year 1, and I think Monte Morris is a tough guy to just not keep.
Say deuces.
Because he will for sure get picked up. At least you
don't got to worry about everybody else because he'd be the first guy. He'd be the guy you get picked up.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. Is there a little strategy to leave a guy like Monte Morris out there so you don't have to lose Bagley, Killian, Livers, Sasser?
I mean, Bagley, you could low-key be cool with getting off the books because he's on a not great contract. But Killian doesn't get picked up. Joe Harris doesn't get picked up. I really don't even know if Wiseman would get picked up, honestly. Maybe, because you have to pay him this.
Maybe.
He's up for a new contract, so it's do you even want to take him for a year? But I'm keeping Sasser and Livers as those last 2 guys.
I love it.
All right, let's go back up to the top, though. Or do you want to go just reverse standings?
It's up to you. I don't really know what's the best way.
Let's just go back up to the top.
Okay, all the way to 1.
The Milwaukee Bucks. This is a team that's in a much different situation. Win now. Who are the obvious keepers for the Bucks?
The obvious keepers are Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton, Jrue Holiday, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, and Grayson Allen.
Yeah.
I think are all 1,000%
I think you could maybe debate Grayson Allen.
I don't
think so. But those top 5 for sure are obvious keep. Bobby Portis is an Olympian, by the way. All right, so who are the I also have those 6 as well. Who are the last 2?
Not an Olympian. They aren't playing in the Olympics.
Okay, yeah, you're right. He is a Team USA guy.
My last 2 guys, this is so hard because they had 4 guys that I was debating between. But I went with Pat Connaughton and Marjon Beauchamp, a younger guy to keep around, leaving Jay Crowder and Malik Beasley ready to be picked up. And one of those 2 guys is getting picked up.
Yeah.
Jay Crowder would be such a good expansion draft guy. Except he wouldn't want to play for you, actually. He would just leave.
He'd just sit, until he wanted to leave.
That's what all the good old guys do.
I also kept MarJon Beauchamp. I think that he kind of is the one young piece that the Bucks want to keep around. And I am a big MarJon Beauchamp fan. I'm rooting for his success. He has a great story. I went with Jay Crowder as the 8th guy. Pat Connaughton has been there for a while, but they gave up 5 second-round picks for Jay Crowder. Pat Connaughton ain't going for 5 second-round picks.
Those seconds don't mean shit.
But 5 of them, though?
It's so funny.
You know what I'm saying?
It's such a funny trade.
Sadiq Bey got for 5 second-round
What did that
picks.
negotiation look like? We'll give you 3. We want 5.
All right, fine. Whatever. So, yeah, I think... like you said, Malik Beasley, Pat Connaughton missed it for me. I think Andre Jackson is another guy that they would not like to lose because he was an early second-round pick in this year's draft out of UConn.
He's not getting picked over Malik Beasley.
Probably not. Excuse me. Unless the Sonics want to go young.
Yeah, and that's just it. What do they want to do?
Exactly.
Do you want to draft 12 dudes who are 22 and younger, or 15, or do you want to draft some guys who can play?
Probably a little bit of a mix, right? So not too much debate though for the Bucks one. Yeah. It's not that big of a deal. Boston Celtics. Who are the obvious ones for the Celtics?
I think they have 7 obvious ones: Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, Rob Williams, Derek White, Malcolm Brogdon, and Al Horford are all for sure coming back. Yeah. You can't lose those
And
guys.
I have them in the exact order as well, which the order doesn't matter. But yeah, you went right down my list of the same order. Totally. Those 7 are locks. And this is one of those teams where the 8th one really is just
doesn't matter.
They low-key could just keep 7. But who did you pick as the 8th?
I picked Peyton Pritchard just because he's been there for a while and they seem pretty committed to him. Like Luke Cornett and J.D. Davidson are also there.
I went with Jordan Walsh, their second-round pick of this year's draft. He was pretty good in the summer league. A lot of Celtics fans think he could play right away. He's a wing player. So I picked him out of Arkansas, but they probably would keep Peyton Pritchard or Sam Hauser. Yeah, the shooter. Who knows?
This next team is just so much fun.
This one is fun. The Philadelphia 76ers. Who are the obvious ones for the 76ers?
The obvious ones for the 76ers.
Okay, and this is hard because,
some of them are obvious, but not for the right reasons, because you have to protect 8 guys.
And also, James Harden, they wouldn't just lose him. They wouldn't want to just kick him. I kind of thought about it. I thought about PJ Tucker, too, because it's
I was going to say for the for sure ones. Here, I'll give you the for sure ones. Yeah. Embiid and Tyrese Maxey.
Ooh, really?
Those are my 2 for sures.
I think DeAnthony Melton's in there.
He's number 3 on the list.
Okay.
He's right. He's number 3 on the list.
And I think Tobias Harris is because he's on the last year of his deal. If this was
my God, I didn't even write him. He should be in here. I didn't mean to do that.
So you have to kick somebody off.
Yeah.
Because I just think if we would have done this 2 years ago, maybe. Because Tobias Harris was just on such a bad contract. But now that it's in the last year and also money has gone up so much.
Everybody's getting paid.
He's on $35 million or something.
Still terrible.
It's a lot, but it's on the last year. So it's that contract is now valuable. A team could take on a team like the Pistons could use a guy like Tobias Harris for a year,
For sure.
So I think there's 4. Yeah, I think it's Joel, Maxey, Melton, Tobias. I'm gonna put Harden in it as well. I mean, we all know he's getting kept. So those are the 5 obvious ones for me.
Would be just hilarious. Oh, Harden, you don't want to play for us? Have fun playing for the new look Supersonics with Jay Crowder and Luke Cornett.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Who are your 3 other guys that make it?
So I had Pat Beverly, PJ Tucker, and B-Ball Paul.
Those are my 3 as well. I think honestly that's kind of everyone else doesn't really play. Furkan Korkmaz has been there for a few years.
Yep.
Jaden Springer, former first-round pick, hasn't played much.
Daniel House.
Yeah, Montrezl Harrell is now there. Mo Bamba is there.
They have players on their team.
But B-Ball Paul, he was signed by the Utah Jazz this offseason as a restricted free agent, and the Sixers matched it. So you're not just matching a decent, I think it was $12 million or $8 to $12 million a year. You're not just matching that and then not bringing him back.
For sure.
But PJ Tucker's one, maybe they wanted to get rid of him just for the locker room sense. But yeah, he gets kept.
A shot.
All right, Cleveland Cavaliers. Who are the obvious ones for the Cavs?
The obvious ones are Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen. I think you cut it there. I mean, you could argue Okoro or LeVert, but it is up in the air. So my total 8 is those top 4: Max Strus, Isaac Okoro, Karis LeVert, and Georges Niang, because they just went and picked him up. So I thought they're not just going to drop him. Notable guys left off: Imani Bates, Ty Jerome, and Ricky Rubio. Some big names. Wow. Ricky Rubio's a contributor.
No love to Dean Wade, huh?
No, I thought about it, though.
Yeah, I have 7 out of the 8, same as you. Donovan Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, Jarrett Allen. I think Strus is an obvious one just because they kind of low-key gave him a little bit of a bag. And obviously, but unless they just immediately regret that contract, maybe. Karis LeVert, Okoro. I went with Amani Bates over George Niang, and that was one that I really debated because like they're in win now and they could use George Niang. But do they like Amani Bates? Like there's a world where they're like, man, like I feel like Amani Bates is a guy that would get picked by an expansion team.
I don't see why you wouldn't if you're
just to be on the squad.
Hey, maybe you got a chance, dude.
Be the number,
These last two teams and including the Celtics feel like they're both prepared. For an expansion.
Yeah, they are. I think the younger teams are the ones that are in harder spots.
It's like
they have
you'd
depth
be screwed.
of young guys. Yeah. Okay, the New York Knicks. Who are your obvious ones for the New York Knicks?
The New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Quickley. And I think they're
Emmanuel.
Literally, I can go 6 and 7 are guaranteed too. Josh Hart and Quentin Grimes
all 8
are
might
kept.
be.
And then Dante DiVincenzo is my 8.
I think that their 8 is locked. Now, not saying losing Isaiah Hartenstein, like that's that's a loss. Like you definitely don't have a backup big in this.
He starts on whatever. He's the starting big on the expansion
He's a very good backup center in the NBA. So and Jericho Sims too. Like it hurts to lose both of those guys, but that doesn't take away the fact that is their top 8.
Yeah, and they lose Toppin. They could lose Toppin in that.
He's good. They traded him.
No, David Toppin.
Who's David Toppin?
I don't know. They have him on their roster.
Seriously?
Yeah.
There's Jacob Toppin too. He's Obi's younger brother.
Might be Jacob.
It's got to be.
Is Jacob on the Knicks?
I don't know. He was undrafted.
You should look it up real quick. Like I said, Isaiah Hartenstein would literally be I don't care what the expansion draft, who's left there, unless Wendell Carter Jr. somehow ends up in the expansion draft pool. Isaiah Hartenstein starts.
Jacob Toppin's on the Knicks.
Gotcha. But Isaiah Hartenstein starts on one of the 2 expansion teams. He's that good.
Yeah.
Isaiah Hartenstein, underrated.
He is totally underrated. Stretches the floor as a big. He's a decent rim protector too. Like he's
budget Sengun.
But he's not top 8.
No,
he's not top 8 on the Knicks. The Knicks and like they have the Villanova Wildcats. They're not getting rid of Dante DiVincenzo. They just brought him in. So yeah, I have the same exact 8 as you. The Brooklyn Nets.
Oh my gosh, they do have the Villanova.
I know they have Josh Hart, Dante, Brunson. They just need Mikal Bridges. All those guys are playing on. Well, they're in DiVincenzo. They're all playing in Team USA too. Okay, I think this is one of the harder ones in the Eastern Conference because what is this team's direction? Are they trying to win? Are they still developing young guys? Brooklyn Nets. Who are your 8 keepers?
Oh, this stinks, man. Mikal Bridges, Nicholas Claxton, Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson, Ben Simmons, Lonnie Walker, and Royce O'Neal.
Okay.
So it's like the perfect win now plus Ben Simmons, but like, do you keep Ben Simmons?
Did Cam Thomas miss your list?
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
They didn't even play him. He had 3 40 pieces.
You know who else they didn't play?
Who?
Ben Simmons.
I understand that. But Cam Thomas literally showed them how good he is, and they went, we still don't like you. Nope.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, the Nets are tough because they have a lot of role players. I only have 5 of the same 8 as you. I really have things different here. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Nicholas Claxton, Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith. I think those are the locks. I think those 5 for sure. Dorian Finney-Smith, one of the better 3-and-D wings in the league, is a valuable player. You don't just
I think the starters are locks.
Yeah, that is the starting 5, I'm pretty sure. I kept Cam Thomas just because he has flashes, and him on an expansion team, he's averaging 25.
Yeah, for sure.
Like at least.
For sure.
And then I just have the 2 rookies that they drafted in the first round. I have Dariq Whitehead and Noah Clowney. They took him with the 19th and 20th overall pick. I know they have a lot of guys, but I decided that they're going to keep those 2. Royce O'Neal, I think you'd rather lose Royce O'Neal or take the risk that he doesn't get picked. But Royce O'Neal's a good role player.
But, like, you can get other role players. I think you're right with Noah Clowney and Dariq Whitehead. I think those 2 guys should have been on there over Lonnie Walker and Royce O'Neal.
I think you would rather like Ben Simmons is like 3rd on the didn't make the list. I think Royce O'Neal and Lonnie Walker are above him. Ben, you want to get off that Ben. Like, what is Ben Simmons' value?
0?
Is it like 0? Like you have to attach.
It's the same as Lonzo Balls.
You might be able to trade him with a 2nd-round pick to the Spurs for Doug McDermott.
Maybe. Absolutely.
Maybe. Unless they like Doug McDermott's spacing.
You low-key couldn't get Lonzo Ball now.
No.
You could not trade for Lonzo Ball with Ben Simmons.
Totally
and Lonzo Ball, like, is struggling. Like, I'm sad.
Simmons is under contract for years. I think he's got at least 2 years left.
Simmons is so...
Like, Simmons doesn't get kept. There's no shot, right?
Dude, he has the craziest... That is LeBron James at one point. Like, he was 18, 17 years old.
He was the prince. Remember when LeBron took that picture of them? It was like, the king and the prince.
That was Magic Johnson's new age Magic Johnson. And he does not play basketball. Yeah. It's unreal.
I think Lonnie Walker, though, is a hard one to lose because you picked him up.
Suck.
And he actually would be, like... one of the first guys picked, I think, because he would just have a big expanded role.
He had 15 points a game,
young,
good
too.
shooter,
He's like
athletic.
25, I think. So, okay, next team, the Miami Heat. This one's kind of boring.
I disagree. I think this one's kind of fun.
Really? Okay.
There are 2 starters that I'm not keeping.
Obvious ones.
Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, and Caleb Martin, I think, are obvious. The rest of them, the last 4 guys I took, were Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, Duncan Robinson, and Thomas Bryant. Were my big ones. Meaning they're losing Kevin Love, who started for them, Jay Rich, who is just there, and Kyle Lowry, who was also a starter for majority of the year. Which is the only team so far that we haven't kept all 5 starters.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's the first team we haven't kept all 5 starters.
And this is a tough spot for the Heat because they're trying to compete, but they have a few bad contracts on their team.
For sure. Maybe it's a good opportunity to dump one.
Exactly. So I have 5 of the same 8 as you, or maybe 6. I can't remember. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, Caleb Martin. Oh, wait, did I write down 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I didn't. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, Caleb Martin, Nikola Jovic. I put Josh Richardson on here just because they just brought him in. I just feel like you'd rather have him than Duncan Robinson on that big old contract that he's still on, which I think still has 2 years left. I don't think it's 1.
It's not that big anymore, is it?
I mean, it's just for a guy that doesn't play. I mean, I know he played in the playoffs, but in the regular season, he didn't play.
But I think I think he will now.
It's around 20. That's
I think he's back in the lineup. He could next season.
Yeah, and you're right. They lost Strus, so he definitely probably will be. And then I did keep Kevin Love. I didn't know if they like him or Thomas Bryant. It doesn't really matter.
One of them's 39, the other one's 27. That's kind of where I was at.
But the other one wanted LeBron to pass him the ball when he was scoring the most points ever in the NBA. So
he was pissed.
Does he he was like, yo, I got a good seal right here.
I'm open.
I got that hook is right here. Hit me, Bron. You think he's passing that thing to you, Thomas Bryant? Come on.
You don't play a lick of defense.
They traded him after that, dude. Okay.
You got to earn that ball.
The Atlanta Hawks. This is a really hard one.
This is a fun
names
one.
Get left off of here. Who are you going with?
I went with, for my 8, Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, Kobe Buffkin, Onyeka Okongwu, DeAndre Hunter, AJ Griffin, Clint Capella, and Saddiq Bey were my final ones, meaning Jalen Johnson and Bogdan Bogdanovic both left off the list, which would just be, you get either one of those and you are feeling good.
Yeah.
Mainly Jalen Johnson.
Totally.
I get that guy and I'm like, holy moly.
Yeah, that's a guy you could try and develop for sure. Yeah, I think that there are 6 obvious ones here. And to me, those obvious ones are Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, AJ Griffin, DeAndre Hunter, Onyeka Okongwu, and Kobe Buffkin. I don't think Clint Capella is in your obvious ones.
I would agree.
There's a world where you don't keep Clint Capella if you really want to keep your young guys and you want to keep, Johnson or Bey, and you're ready for an easy way for Onyeka Okongwu to take the starting job. It would be kind of not smart to do because you could just trade Clint Capella to a team that could use him. Sure. He's not on that.
That's kind of where I was.
Exactly, yeah. So, but if you really wanted to go with the youth movement, this could be your easy way of doing it. I did keep Clint Capella, though. Obviously, I wasn't going to just let him leave. I mean, it's a conversation to have.
Yep.
And I did go with Bogdan Bogdanovic. I think he's just a better player at this point than Saddiq Bey is. I still love Saddiq Bey, obviously. But Bogdanovic kind of brings more to the table for that Hawks team. So Jalen Johnson and Saddiq Bey. Saddiq Bey not being kept. You would ask me a year ago the Pistons, who the 8 guys the Pistons are keeping. Saddiq Bey is number 2 on that list.
For sure.
Do
you miss him?
I do miss him. I do. I mean, I'm not crying that he's gone, but I'm not going to be one of those guys that's fuck Saddiq Bey, Do
you miss the old Saddiq Bey?
I mean, what's the old Saddiq Bey?
The one that was
rookie
nasty.
Year Saddiq Bey? Yeah. That averaged 12 a game.
Yeah, but he was
he just shot the ball well,
and he looked a lot better when he did it.
I miss 51 points game Saddiq Bey.
I used to love that Saddiq Bey.
Yeah. What are you going with this?
I guess I don't really know, but I don't miss Saddiq Bey whatsoever.
Saddiq Bey has been put into a box in Atlanta.
That's actually what I wanted to say. That's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
I used to love Saddiq Bey. I do not love Saddiq Bey anymore.
But he was what the Hawks, like he became a more efficient player with the Hawks. But guess what?
He quit dribbling.
He just quit dribbling. He just shot threes.
He quit doing pull-up middies for some reason.
Well, because he didn't shoot them well in Detroit.
Yeah. No, that's
except that little short corner, Saddiq Bey like post up, like deep post up in the short corner.
Mad at Saddiq.
He low-key was hitting that.
I was pumped when the thoughts were coming out that we were going to trade him. Once we traded him, I was pretty sad.
Yeah,
but like it was like okay, I think I'm done with the Saddiq Bey. Like I think I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, it's time for Isaiah Livers.
Again, it's crazy because I used to love Saddiq Bey.
Me too. I have his jersey.
Oh, that's crazy.
The Toronto Raptors. This one I think is pretty easy.
I have Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby, Gary Trent Jr., Dennis Schroeder, Jakob Poeltl, Grady Dick, and Precious Achiuwa.
Yeah, it's the same 8 I have. Jalen McDaniels, you don't like losing him because you just brought him in. Chris Boucher, I don't think would get picked up.
I don't even think they care to lose
I don't
him.
think Malachi Flynn gets picked up. Like, I don't think you have to worry about. Maybe McDaniels gets picked up.
I don't think a guy gets picked up off their team.
Probably, like, I'm just saying, like, if there was...
Ron Harper Jr.,
well,
maybe?
technically, there would be one picked up if there was 2 expansion teams from every squad, like, technically.
Facts.
But... yeah, like I don't think Ron Hart. No, there's no way. He's like
not over Malachi and Chris Boucher.
But yeah, that one is easy. Chicago Bulls. Give me the obvious ones of the Bulls because this one is. I wrote down 5 guys that missed the list on here.
My obvious ones are Zach LaVine, Alex Caruso, P. Willie, Ayu Dosunmu, Kobe White, and Torrey Craig are the obvious ones.
Really?
I think there's
obvious ones.
I think there's a big chance. Buchin. I mean, they're both on my list.
There's
they
2
don't.
dudes on your obvious ones that didn't even make my 8-man.
Really?
Yeah.
Vooch and DeMar are like up in the air though. Like I don't.
Did they not make your obvious ones?
I didn't name those guys.
But obviously they made it.
They obviously are on the list, but like it's like a. Ugh.
I think Vooch is an obvious one because they extended him this offseason. But
what a bad move.
But DeMar is like okay, do you really want to? But you can trade them. It's not like you're just like getting no value for DeMar. Like that's the thing. And he's getting picked. And then maybe he doesn't though. Like maybe
he's getting picked.
You think they would? But what
if DeMar DeRozan's sitting there as an expansion team?
But think about it though. DeMar DeRozan has what 2 years left on his deal? 2 or 3? I think 2. If you're an expansion team, DeMar DeRozan gets you 10 more wins than you want, but 10 less wins than you need to be good.
I'm drafting him to trade him.
Yeah.
I'm going to be... If the Bulls aren't going to trade him, I'll happily trade him for A first.
I assume you can't trade him until like December, whatever, just like all,
Yeah.
But I know that... I get what you're saying, though. Like, that's definitely a solid idea. Like, if you really want to go up, like, hey, DeMar, we're picking you, but like, you're not going to be here long. Like, we'll get you to the Lakers or something. Mm-hmm. But I think that if you're an expansion team, it's just kind of dumb to just try to be like, let's just win right now.
Let's be competitive.
Yeah, like, no.
Let's
like, you kind of need to establish a core a little bit first. For me, so how many guys did you just name? 6. And then Vooch and DeMar are your other 8. Okay. Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, Vucevic, DeMar, Caruso, I think are the obvious 5. Dalen Terry on here is the first round pick of last season. Did not play basically at all in his rookie year, but I think they just maybe not want to lose him. Kobe White, they just gave. Did you say Kobe White?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. They just gave Kobe White a good contract, and he actually had a pretty good year last year. He definitely is going to be a good player. And I didn't keep Ayo Dosunmu.
Oh.
I kept Julian Phillips, their second round pick of this year's draft, just because I don't even think they re-signed Ayo Dosunmu. Like, it was kind of a weird situation. Like, technically he's like on the team. I think Ayo Dosunmu was like out there still. Like, I think anyone could go get him.
Really?
So that's mainly why I didn't bring him back. But think of the names that are missing it for me. Ayo Dosunmu, Andre Drummond, who like is everything funny about Andre Drummond. He's still an NBA player. Lonzo Ball. I'm glad that you left him off because that guy's not playing basketball anytime soon, and he's getting paid $20 million to sit at home. As unfortunate as it is.
Yeah, as much as it sucks. And I was joking about it earlier. And you really, I really shouldn't.
But it's
the truth.
Javon Carter, who is a very good role player on a championship team the last couple years in Milwaukee.
A beast, man.
That is a guy that a team could use. On Torrey Craig, another guy that is a championship caliber role player. that is available in the draft.
Every time we say DeMar DeRozan's name on this podcast and then only use his first name, I just expect a pun to be tossed in there about DeMar. It's just because they're so funny.
They are very funny. All right, 5 teams left. A tough one here. Yeah, very tough one. Mm-hmm. Indiana Pacers. Who are the obvious Indiana Pacers?
The obvious Indiana Pacers. Low key, there's 6 of them.
Dude, this is hard. They low key have like 12 obvious ones.
Oh, I wonder how that works. Well, yeah, because now I got to think about. So Halliburton is obvious. Miles Turner, obvious. Benedict Mathurin, obvious. Jarace Walker, Bruce Brown, all obvious.
Totally
I think
agree.
That's it.
I think Andrew Nembhard also is in there.
And he made my list, but I think you could argue keeping like Isaiah Jackson over at Andrew Nembhard or TJ McConnell.
You could.
TJ McConnell is like Isaiah Hartenstein, similar. He would start on one of the expansion teams.
Yeah, he'd be good.
He'd be nasty.
So who are your other 3 then?
So my other 3 are Buddy Hield.
Well, you said Nembhard actually, so your other 2.
Buddy Hield and Obi Toppin.
Okay. I think we have the same 7, or I think we have the same 8 then. Yeah, I have.
Read through yours and I can tell you.
Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, Jarace Walker, Miles Turner, Andrew Nembhard, Bruce Brown, Obi Toppin, and Buddy Hield.
Yep, the exact same.
I think Buddy Hield's a little bit too valuable to let walk, but he's kind of the one that like might not fit your core, but he's just too valuable to let walk. I mean, the guy that shoots the 3-ball at an insane clip.
He fits any core, I think. I don't think
you're right. He does.
Like,
but I'm
he's
just
like
saying,
JJ Redick.
Timeline, like maybe if you just want to have young guys.
Yeah. You're just not going to find anybody that shoots it like that. And he's going to shoot it like that until he's 35.
It sucks losing Isaiah Jackson, Jalen Smith, TJ McConnell, like you said. It sucks losing him. Ben Shepherd was a late first-round pick for the Indiana Pacers this year. That's a guy that I assume will play, right? Like he was a 4-year college player, I believe. So it sucks losing a guy like him, too. But you're just having too many guys. It's one of these young teams that just has a lot of young guys that you don't want to lose, but you're going to lose one of them.
Now that I think about it, you're comfortable leaving TJ McConnell off because you hope they take them over Isaiah Jackson. Because Isaiah Jackson, I'm a believer in him still. Like, I think he could be a beast.
He's freaky athletic.
Stinks out. I guess I like Obi being there, but blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. All right. Stinky team here, even though they do have some good players. Washington Wizards.
The obvious ones are Jordan Poole, Kyle Kuzma, Tyus Jones, Denny Avdija, and Bilal Coulibaly. I think the rest of them are up for debate, but I finish with Johnny Davis, Corey Kispert, and Landry Shamet to keep like a vet out there with Tyus Jones, but like Gallinari's on this team, Muscala, Daniel Gafford, they just suck.
I low-key think there's like 7 obvious ones on here. I think Jordan Poole, Kuzma, Coulibaly. I think Johnny Davis is an obvious one. I know he wasn't good, but he was a top 10 pick. Yeah. And had played 1 season. Like, you're not just going to let him leave. Denny Avdija, I think Kispert's obvious. I think Tyus Jones obvious. I went with Daniel Gafford just because, like, none of the dudes we said were bigs. Mm-hmm. So, like, if Gafford gets picked, who you started at center?
Facts.
And Landry Shamet's kind of, like, on a bad contract, too. So, like, you're kind of comfortable. Like, he doesn't get picked, though. So, like, you're comfortable letting him potentially walk. Patrick Baldwin Jr., I think is like one of the, like, kind of sucks losing him because maybe you like him, but who knows?
Johnny Davis is so funny. You know who Johnny Davis reminds me of after that first year? The way we talk about him? Jarrett Culver.
Ooh, that's a good one. Man, really good college player.
Really good. And like an elite scorer who like couldn't be stopped. And then
but Davis like actually shoots threes too.
Dude, Davis is... I don't know what his role looks like going forward next to Poole.
I know there's just a lot of wing players already, unless he can play the guard spot fully.
Yeah, or Poole can play like a true one. But
yeah,
Poole is a dribble,
but he has Tyus Jones
guy.
To be there with
him.
Tyus
Jones is the true one.
Exactly. So like Davis doesn't start at all.
That team's kind of fun.
He only played like 20 games last year. Johnny Davis. He was in the G League most of the season. Okay, we have 2 more.
Two
the
more.
Orlando Magic.
This team is crazy.
This is a tough one, man. Who you going
Never
with?
mind. Okay, there are...
I believe there
obvious.
are 7 obvious ones.
I think there are 6.
Okay, name them.
I'm going to go Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Jet Howard, Anthony Black, Markelle Fultz, and Wendell Carter are my obvious ones.
I think I personally add Suggs into that group. I think you just like another guy that's just a little bit too valuable to lose out on him.
And Suggs is on my list.
Yeah.
And I went with Caleb Houston to be the last guy on that roster.
I respect that. because Cole Anthony needs to be paid this offseason or this upcoming year. He's going in the last year of that rookie deal.
So many guys.
So do you want to? And Cole Anthony's a good. Like we're not saying Cole. I did pick Cole Anthony, but he's going in that last year of his rookie deal, and he's got to get paid. And it sucks to lose him because he's valuable, and he would be very good in an expansion team. But maybe you just you drafted Anthony Black, So
yeah, and Gary Harris is there, and John Isaac is also. I mean, the Magic leave some hitters out there.
I actually think there's a world where they keep Gary Harris as that 8th guy. Like there definitely is a world. Like but he probably doesn't get drafted though. That's the thing.
He doesn't fit their timeline whatsoever.
But he's been there for like a few years, since the Aaron Gordon trade, and he plays for them too. Obviously John Isaac, Chuma Okeke, Joe Ingles signed with them this offseason.
I saw Joe. No.
Last team here, the Charlotte Hornets.
This team is hilarious.
This is an interesting one. I did write 4 names that missed though. So.
Yeah, they'd be happy keeping 5 guys. They'd be happy keeping 4.
That's for real. Give me the obvious. Give me the obvious Charlotte Hornets.
The guys that should be kept is how I'm gonna word it, but they're obvious. LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Mark Williams, and Nick Smith Jr. are the guys who should be kept.
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry.
LaMelo, Brandon Miller, Mark Williams, and Nick Smith Jr.
Okay.
And then to finish out the list, I have Miles Bridges, but this is a great opportunity to lose all the shit you've been dealing with and maybe clean up your locker room a little bit. Kai Jones hasn't showed a damn thing in the NBA.
Hey, but he dunked on Wemby in Summer League.
And it looks cool every time he dunks.
Yeah.
He can shoot threes, he can dunk, he can block shots, but for some reason just can't succeed on an NBA floor.
Can't get on the court, I guess.
Terry Rozier, remember when he was supposed to be the next good thing?
I mean, Terry Rozier is a good player.
He's 17 a game.
Yeah.
But I thought he was going to be 23 a game after that Boston year.
Yeah, true.
I thought he was going to be
I think he's kind of an obvious one. A team that's good would be happy as Terry Rozier is their 6th man, I feel like.
And then James Bouknight is my last guy. Sadly, Gordon Hayward does not get kept. He is going to the expansion team.
Yeah, he don't get picked.
Yeah, he don't get picked by an expansion team. No, who wants Gordon Hayward?
No one wants Gordon Hayward. He gets injured every year, and he's been paid. He is on the last year of that big deal he signed with Charlotte, so that helps. But he's not getting picked.
It's Amari Bailey who's getting picked.
So for me, I have LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Terry Rozier, Mark Williams, Nick Smith Jr. I think are the 5 obvious ones. I think Terry Rozier is a little too valuable to just lose. I do have Kai Jones. I think they keep him. I also have Nick Richards on here. I think that they keep him as well. I think they gave him a little mini extension this offseason. It is another big man. I did not keep Miles Bridges. I went with Amari Bailey. I know he was your 2nd-round pick, but I'm keeping Amari Bailey over Miles Bridges and James Bouknight. I think that James Bouknight barely plays for the Hornets.
That dude don't get run.
I get he was the 12th overall pick or something. He don't play.
He gets no run.
On a bad team. It's not you have a team that's good that don't play their young guys. James Bouknight don't play on a bad team.
Is he from the Zags or from UConn?
UConn.
Oh, I was gonna make some Gonzaga slander.
And didn't win the title with them. Wasn't on that squad. I think this is an opportunity that you're willing to let a team pick Miles Bridges.
Yeah.
Does a team pick Miles Bridges? I don't know if an expansion team wants to immediately take on that situation. Gordon Hayward, obviously, Cody Martin. If you think he's got some Caleb Martin in his game on a good team. But yeah, I think that I went with Amari Bailey. I don't think it really matters. I just feel like Bridges wouldn't get kept, I guess.
Yeah, and I can totally see that. It's just be smart to be a good reason to let him go.
Yeah. Okay.
I wrote a little team of guys left off, but I realize this team has no direction. So I need your help.
Okay.
Because we need to fill out the last 3 guys of this team. I've got the starting point guard. I'm trying to win games. Okay, first year, I want to win
Seattle
30 games.
Sonics.
Yeah, I'm trying to win, not trying to be young and shit. Point guard, TJ McConnell. Center, Isaiah Hartenstein.
What is that order?
Those are the 2 guys that I have.
Where's everyone in between?
No, I'm telling you.
Oh, I'm helping you build it right now?
Yeah, I need the 2, the 3, and the 4.
Okay.
Right now, I have Alec Burks at the 2.
Okay.
I have John Isaac at the 3. And Isaiah Jackson at the 4. But Jackson and
So
John
if you're trying
Isaac.
to win games.
Yeah.
I think Royce O'Neal starts at the 4. Did you keep Royce O'Neal, though?
No.
Okay.
I did. No, you're right. I did.
Because I couldn't remember if you did.
But I agreed that they should drop
the young guys.
Yes.
So I think Royce O'Neal starts at the 4. You have George. I also didn't keep George Niang, but you did, so we won't count him. Pat Connaughton probably plays a good amount on this team. I'm just looking at this.
Oh, Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder. Yep. I kept Jay Crowder.
Pat Connaughton, though, would start.
Torrey Craig. You kept Torrey Craig, though, right?
Yeah.
I didn't. Gordon Hayward, I mean, probably starts. He starts
he's good for 15
if he's
game.
playing. If he's available to play, he'll start. He just probably isn't available.
For sure.
You could build it you could build a 30-win team. I bet a team that you built from the guys that we didn't pick wins more games than the Pistons won last year.
Yeah.
Which is sad to say.
Yeah, if you tried to win with Alec Burks and those guys, absolutely.
Yeah, but I don't know. You just don't have any kind of star player at all.
But you have depth.
Yeah.
We
didn't even say Jalen Johnson. He definitely gets major run.
Yeah, Derek Jones Jr. Do you think he finds his way on?
I didn't even write him on honorable mentions though.
Dude, he's a beast.
He's just a defense guy.
He's just out there.
Who's the guy that would be scoring hella points? Cam Thomas if he missed yours.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna be the guy that's you need a guy that's gonna score at the end of the day. Okay.
Amani Bates.
I kept him though.
I didn't.
Okay. How far are we into this?
Hour 30. We actually went through that way faster than I thought we were going to.
We have one trivia today. I have a trivia for Easton, so it's not going to take that long. So if you want to leave, get out of here. It's okay. It's a easy trivia. This is one that you're gonna guess the options. It's just whether or not they're right or wrong. You're not going to sit here thinking about who could I guess. So, I want to think how I want to introduce this. There really is no way to introduce this. Can you tell me the 10 NBA teams with the most wins in the last 10 seasons?
Okay. Yeah.
So just the most wins by team the last 10 seasons in the NBA since the 2013-14 season. For a little context, that was when the San Antonio Spurs knocked off LeBron and the Heat. That was that start of that season until last season. 3 strikes.
Oh. Let's go with Golden State Warriors.
Number 1 by 34 wins. They're the only team over 500.
Now, from here is where it gets hard. Since 2013, the Milwaukee Bucks.
Milwaukee Bucks are number 6.
Okay. Who's been in limbo for a long time? I'm not going to guess them this early. That's just crazy. I'm trying to think of some other. Oh, the Miami Heat.
Heat are number 7. Only had a couple years in there where they weren't very good.
Yeah, only a couple, and that's kind of where I'm at.
You just got to think of teams that were. And this is regular season. It's not playoffs.
Yeah.
So teams that have been good in regular season the last 10 years.
Utah Jazz,
number 8.
Whoa, that is way lower than I expected.
Yeah, they weren't phenomenal in the beginning of that.
Gotcha.
But obviously, the last so many years up to last season, they were a top seed every year.
And I don't think the Lakers are on there.
They're not. I'll give you that.
Are the Clippers?
Clippers are number 3.
Yeah, because they would have been the end of Lob City.
Even the one year that they were in between PG, Kawhi, and Lob City, they still made the playoffs that year. Mm-hmm. They were the 8th seed.
Are the Thunder on here?
Thunder are number 10.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good one because they've had a couple years in a row where they've been at the bottom, but
they also
that whole early part they were good,
and recently
the Paul George time too. Yeah, so
Chris Paul that year, Chris Paul they were good.
So you're missing number 2, number 4, number 5, number 9 with no strikes.
Number 2 is crazy, but it's the Cavs.
The Cavs did not make the top 10.
Isn't that surprising?
It is pretty surprising.
They were in the finals 5 years.
From 2014 to 2015, so those 2 seasons, they sucked. Yep. Actually, no, it would have just been that 2013-14. Mm-hmm. And then after 2018, they were from 2019 to 2023, so that's 4 seasons.
We're bad.
Really bad.
Yeah.
I guess last year they were good, but.
Did I guess the Denver Nuggets? And I don't know if I want to. I just want to know if I guessed them.
You did not.
Okay. Oh, man, that's a tough one. Because they are hovering. I don't remember how good they were in 2014. I don't think they were that good. The Rockets?
Rockets are not in the top 10.
Because of the last 2 years.
Terrible bad, yeah.
That's that bad.
I'm going to give you a quick piece of advice. I'd go ahead and guess that team you were thinking about.
Denver?
Yeah, Denver's number 9. So,
is there a team that's been living in mediocrity for 10 straight seasons on here? Never once was a playoff contender, but always in them?
No, all 3 of these teams were playoff contenders at one point in this
the
range.
Celtics.
Celtics are number 4. So you're missing 2 other teams. I have a major hint if you need it at one point, but I think it would give it away.
The Sixers? What was I doing?
Yeah, the Sixers had the process.
Yeah, no, that's not a guess because I instantly regretted that.
You didn't even let me finish what I was gonna say about it.
Yeah, go on.
No, I can't remember.
Oh, that's terrible. Bad podcasting.
I'm not gonna count it.
No, that doesn't count because I instantly regretted it. I'm missing number 2 and number
2 and number 5.
Number 2 is crazy because who has been doing it? Is East or West?
One East, one West.
Oh,
like I said, I have
the Trailblazers. Also, not them.
Not Portland.
That is crazy. Okay, I really expect.
Now that you're
Portland.
at 3 strikes, I will give you the major hint. Both of these teams have won an NBA championship in this range.
Did I guess the Bucks?
Yes.
So the Lakers. Who else be winning them chips? Let's go through the Raptors.
The Raptors are number 2. Yes. Number 2 for the Raptors. That's pretty crazy.
Okay, then
they've been good for most of this time.
Who be winning these finals?
Number 5 is the West one.
And
there's been like only one team that's won one in the West other than this team.
Yeah, and I know, and I'm just blanking. I'm just sitting.
I kind of like the Spurs. Yes, the Spurs.
I would not expect them to even come close to this
Popovich,
list.
Man.
I did not even consider them because I was like, they were good in 2014. No, they were definitely good 15, 16, 17.
They were in the playoffs every year. They just weren't like a contender after that, like they were still good.
I was really thinking the Bulls were going to be on here.
Yeah, the Bulls have been so mid the last
and that's what I thought. Like being mid would be good.
Like maybe since like 2010, like maybe, but like they've been bad for most of the
different that list looks. I can't believe I missed
Maybe
them.
Next week I'll do least wins.
The Raptors were good.
Pistons got to be close to the bottom, sadly.
Right there, it's us and the Hornets.
Yeah, probably the Magic too. No, the Magic are definitely above us.
Magic have had some good years.
Yeah, it's definitely like us and the Hornets. Yeah. Okay, everybody. Thank you guys for listening. We will catch you this weekend. Like we said, go check out that episode, and we're out of here. Bye.
Bye.